Our Chris Golick attends the VGK ball last night and reports on last night's gala.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, along with the aforementioned Chris Golick. You can find us on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, at Locked On VGK, and of course, follow us on the YouTube channel at Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you by FanDuel. Again, FanDuel, we're at the midway point of the NBA season, and now is the time to download FanDuel, and new customers can get a no sweat first bet with up to $1,000. I'm sorry, I'm distracted again with this stupid video screen. Good morning, Chris. Hope you had fun last night.
Oh, definitely.
So, Chris, okay, so the dress was Vegas chic.
Oh God, you're gonna start here, aren't you?
Well, come on, man. You were posting a lot of the wardrobe options yesterday on Twitter. And I wanted to know what you wore to the gala because we saw that you had a lot of options and some really crazy ones to wear last night.
So here's the conversation. The email that we all got says the dress code it says Vegas SHIC. So I look at my wife, I'm like, what the blankety blank does Vegas chick mean? She's like, oh, Vegas chic. I'm like, okay, cool. What does that mean? So I Google it. That's a logical thing to do. I mean, I'm assuming I can wear a suit and stuff, whatever. And for Vegas chic attire, the first thing is this person wearing, it's a male with like a weird shirt. It's called a Vow Playa crop. And he's wearing just like a G-string thing with it. It's kind of strange. And then the next thing that pops up is like a guy wearing a weird leopard suit, and then like this other guy wearing a green suit with a white t-shirt and white shoes. And I was very confused on what all this means. So here's the funnier part, Tony. We have a continuation of this already. So I'm walking through the casino trying to find out where this nightclub is. I'm not a nightclub person. This is not my environment. I don't sneak into these places like Tony does. What's that, Tony?
You could have texted me.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know you know all the back ways into these places through the kitchen and stuff like that, like you see in the movies. So I'm walking through and I wind up in a big sea of players. So I notice Amadio and Nick Waugh are literally walking right next to me at this point. So I said, hey guys, I got no idea where we're going. I'm just going to, tag along with you for a second. And we start making some small talk and stuff. And I immediately realized all the players are wearing these amazing Vegas Golden Knights Jordans that were being auctioned off for charity. So cool. It spurs a conversation about, how is everyone dressed and stuff. So I told Nick Waugh my story. I said, listen, dude, I got to tell you something. I looked up whatever Vegas chic means, and I'm glad I see us all wearing kind of suits and stuff. And I actually showed him the picture and what I was going through in my my stress leading up to the event. And that got a real good laugh. So we were all, three of us were kind of shooting the breeze as we walked over and got settled in, so to speak.
Okay, so did Mark Stone and Logan Thompson, were they in attendance last night?
I don't recall seeing Mark Stone. LT was in good spirits and he was there.
Walking around, limping, anything? No?
He looked. Oh,
you're not allowed to say.
Logan Thompson was having a very good time with the people yesterday, and he was in very good spirits and looked very good.
Okay. So no Mark Stone sightings, though.
I did not see Mark Stone, no.
You spoke to several players there last night, and one of the funniest things, I was cracking up. I woke up early this morning, and I went back on Twitter, and I watched that again. A funny bit that you did with Carrier and Marchessault last night. That was really good. Tell the listeners and viewers about that.
So, I mean, the way the event is laid out, you have the players at different areas, like giving out food to people. Like literally the players are serving you food and drinks and what have you. So you have Will Carrier and Jonathan Marchessault together. I knew this was a dynamite opportunity. So I asked our contact if I was able to go over there and collect some content, so to speak, and they gave me the go ahead. So we gabbed for a second off the record. Then obviously I started rolling. And the first question was who, just kind of get them loosened up, was about, hey, you guys have been in some sticky situations. Where does this rank? And then we passed it off to who's going to wind up in the hot tub or the pool at some points. And they felt Paul Cotter was the chalk to end up in one of the pools. I cannot confirm nor deny if that actually happened or not. My sources have not gotten back to me yet. And then I had to get with Will Carrier about what coach refers to him as, and if he's aware of the fact that he calls him by the wrong name. And he did acknowledge that, yeah, he's kind of aware, but he can call him whatever he wants. He can call him Will, he can call him Cares, he can call him 20. He doesn't care as long as he puts him on the ice. And the look on Jonathan Marchessault's face when he said that was absolutely priceless. So it was,
that was good.
That was a good time. That was fun.
No, you had a good time with the players, and then we saw where you had some comments from Bruce Cassidy, and he was swaying so much. It was a little bit windy out there. I thought he was going to wind up in the pool just from swaying away.
Oh, yeah, no, Cassidy, listen, he always gives it to you. We had a good on the record and off the record conversation, just kind of helping me to learn a couple things about, how I can do what I do better, how I can interact with him better and stuff like that. And he was very nice to take the time and give me a couple of comments and stuff like that. But as far as the stuff, the VGK stuff, I first wanted to just get his impressions about the community and stuff and how it's changed now that he's obviously been here, 8, 9, 10 months, however long that it's been. And he really touched on the community aspect and the fact that his kids are playing hockey and stuff, and just the normalcy that Vegas has that no one knows exists unless you live here or spend a lot of time here. So that was good to hear from. And then I just kind of asked how he felt watching the players do what they do at these events and interacting and their role in basically all the fundraising and how it helps the community. And again, very thoughtful answer. He did allude to how well the team is marketed and such. And then the last thing, obviously, we talked a little bit of hockey and just asked about the biggest challenges and just kind of, keep on pushing through. And they're obviously tasked with a big injury right now, and just kind of keep on going.
Yeah. So were you there long enough to catch T-Pain or no?
No, that's when Golic was out stage left. That was that. No, that's yeah, no.
So they let you stay for so long, and then who else did you interact with?
Zach Whitecloud. Zach Whitecloud. He was the first one. Wow, Lou, that's a good meme right there. Zach Whitecloud was the first one out, and he gave some real good answers to the questions that I asked him. So obviously, we know Zach Whitecloud was gone, for injury for a couple of months and stuff. And I saw him at the game sitting up in the press box, and he looked miserable, as the players do when they're up in the press box, whether it's injury or scratch or otherwise.
Because they have to sit next near you guys, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, they keep them pretty far away from us unless it's the coffee clutch. That's fair game. So I asked him what he learned about his game during that time, and the first thing he talked about was patience and the fact that he needs to be more patient. And he gave a real good, just long answer about how that part of his game, certainly needs to improve. And then talking about the challenges, kind of the same thing about just kind of pushing forward and being excited to be back. He really was big on mentioning he wants to be out there competing with his friends. And that's one of the biggest things that he misses out there. And just another small clue into the togetherness that this team does have on the ice, as they want to support each other and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things you can say about the VGK team, but as far as the locker room goes, especially this year's team, I don't feel there's any of the same things that maybe were going on last year as far as all the stress and things like that. Now, that said, there probably was for the last, 20 games or so, and now things are getting better, and hopefully it stays like this.
I think they like each other. They were also at the locker room, that little restaurant there in Summerlin that they all own, and they were watching the Super Bowl game together. So it appears as though they're
Coach Cassidy did allude to a Super Bowl party, but wouldn't say where.
Okay, so now we know. Okay, well, I didn't see him in the photo. I did see Mark Stone in the photo though, and he was sitting down, so we don't know.
Stone might have been there last night. I just didn't catch him. That's all. So, I walked in there, and I told you as I was walking with the players, I just I followed them. Like literally, I just mixed in with not even on purpose, not even trying to be some slime ball media guy. We were just gabbing, and then I saw the players get on an elevator, so I jumped on the elevator with them. I was in the elevator with half the team going up to this pre-reception area, and I get up there and I see a table. I go to check in. They're kind of looking at me funny, and then one of the contacts like, "Oh, hey, Chris, good to see you. Go downstairs, check in." I'm like, "Oops." So,
Yeah, that's good though. You got a little insight there, and you had some off the record conversations too with some
yeah,
of
I
the
mean,
other
there's a
players.
few guys that I've kind of started to get to know a little bit, and one in particular I know a little bit now outside, from not even hockey, more in my personal
Business.
business world. I guess we'll leave it at that. But just a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Okay. Coming up next, has Kelly McCrimmon's plan to go after free agents been stalled by the recent success of VGK? We'll get into all of that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The midway point of the NBA season is here, and now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first does not win. If your first bet doesn't win, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook application. It's safe, it's secure, a super easy way to use. And then you can bet on everything from the money line to the point scores to the threes that are drained in the game. And of course, we really enjoy having them as our sponsor, because FanDuel can let you even combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same game parlay. So don't miss the chance to get your no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/locked on. That's FanDuel.com/locked on to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, and are you hungover today, like Pete DeBoer?
I'm not hungover. I did have a dynamite old fashioned though. So there was a section where a bar, you get your drinks and stuff like that, but there was like 8 different flavors you can get your drink smoked with. So that was kind of cool. So I had a real nice old fashioned that was smoked in some like cherry wood or something. Awesome as always. Awesome.
Okay, make sure that you definitely check out the YouTube channel. Your videos will be posted there today, I take it.
They're all by our Twitter right now. Easier accessibility on Twitter.
Okay, at Locked On VGK, and of course you could subscribe. Locked On Golden Knights. I apologize for our technical issues. We are working on it here behind the scenes as we speak with a different high-tech computer. So that should be fixed here within the next few days. And thank you for your patience. And
I'll take the over. Slam the over on that one.
So have the plans been deviated for the Vegas Golden Knights now with their 3 wins in a row? Of course, our good friend, and I'm sure you saw him there last night, the president of VGK, George McPhee, was on another podcast, not in Las Vegas, north of the border, I must say. And he did say that, again, the injuries to Logan Thompson and to Mark Stone could stall any kind of trades, anything that they go after in free agency. He denied, Chris, that they're in the market for a goaltender. But I think it was Dr. Saravelli who said that VGK is in some active talks for a goaltender. The drama never ends, and this guy never does. Was he there last night? Did you see Georgie?
I didn't see, and he's someone that I actually would have sought to interact with because I found him at the last, at the first 2, and just had some real good personal conversations with him about kind of learning more about, how he handles the community and culture aspect of the business that he runs. And, it's a real good conversation. So I definitely had a few personal questions queued up if I could have found him, but I did not see him last night. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't there. I just didn't get a chance to see him.
Okay, so have the plans changed to seek an active free agent or a few?
I don't buy for a second that this team is not in the market. And if anything, the Mark Stone injury, unless he's coming back in the next 2 or 3 weeks, which for lack of a better term, he's not. I mean, I think it's pretty safe. Bruce Cassidy planted a comment that was also premeditated, and I'm sure he was told to say this as well. I'm very confident in making that claim where Mark Stone could come back depending the farther the team extends the season. So the only way you extend your season is by getting to the playoffs. So just taking that comment in the easiest form, Mark Stone is not coming back in the regular season. So why would this team just sit back and not do something? Logan Thompson does throw a little bit of a wrench into the mix because a couple of things. One, just because maybe there is a goalie that this team might target. But if they do target a goalie, that means LT is not coming back maybe until the latest of the playoffs. Otherwise, there's no reason to shake that tree. I mean, there's a reason you signed Aiden Hill. There's a reason you kept Brossoit this long on, in the VGK organization. Why would you all of a sudden turn that plan upside down? I don't understand. And we can get John Gibson? No, just get out of here. Let's just move on from that right now. Has McCrimmon's plan changed as a result of these last 3 games? It depends. Long story short, I don't think 3 games is going to determine what a GM does, but I'm sure there's a few different paths that they are considering right now. If the team does have a poor, 9-10 game stretch before leading up to the deadline, and it seems like the playoffs are an afterthought, then yeah, I mean, they're going to go the sell route and do something for next season. Not a fire sale, but maybe ship a couple of pieces that they were going to lose anyway in free agency. But now that things are going well, I think they can stick to plan A, and that is finding a way to improve this roster for a deep playoff run, whether it's the newest, shiniest toy in a Patrick Kane or a Timo Meier, or some, maybe 2 or even up to 3 depth pieces to really help round out the lineup.
Okay, so George McPhee, the team president, was on the Bob McCown podcast. He said that he has breakfast with, I was listening to this at about 4:10 this morning.
It's about right.
Has breakfast every day with Kelly McCrimmon. They go through everything together each and every day. He said that trade talk would have to make perfect sense, and they're trying to buy some time. And
what trade has ever made perfect sense in this town? Right? Keep going.
And again, they're buying some time because they want to see what happens with Stone and LT. And he said they might not do anything, but these injuries are complicating things. And he said, if you can, to make your team better, then you make a move. But yes, they're in conversations each and every day.
I mean, listen, understand George McPhee. I've heard this from a few people within the organization. George McPhee is incredibly calculated. And I would ask the question, I wouldn't question his comments. I would question why on February 13th, February 14th, just weeks out before the deadline, he's having this conversation on this podcast. He's doing it to plant seeds. He's doing whatever it is. This is something that I learned very quickly. Our role as media, a lot of the times, is pawns. We are taking the information that the players, the coaches, and these press releases, and we give it out to the people that follow our respective shows, whether it's us or, Jesse with the Athletic Sin Bin and Owen, all of us. I mean, we all have the same role in taking the VGK information the way they give it to us, and then we pass it out in our own way, and that's kind of what gets people talking and things like that. So why is he doing this podcast right now? I don't know. That's a fair question, but the fact that Mark Stone, in my opinion, makes this whole thing much easier. Right now, VGK per cap friendly does not have an active roster space on their NHL roster, but Mark Stone is only IR right now. So that means his roster spot is open. LT is IR, so his roster spot is not open. Miramonov is still not even any designation to the best of my knowledge. So that can be an IR or LTIR move. So VGK does have the pieces in place to open up a roster spot or multiple roster spots when the time comes. And plus whatever with Logan Thompson's contract, if there is a way they can do something with him, at least on a paper transaction, to free up a roster spot in the short term.
So McPhee said that they lost a lot of players when they had that stretch of 5 games in 8 nights that led to injuries. So that's going to be the new narrative. And he said it was a kick to the stomach when Mark Stone went out because of all the things that he does. One of the reasons why he does not meet with local media here, he said, because he does not want to overshadow Kelly McCrimmon.
It's a digital world. That's sorry, but I don't say this often. That's a dumb comment. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. I mean, It's a digital world. It doesn't matter if he talks to us.
Right.
It doesn't matter if he talks north of the border. It doesn't matter if he goes to Europe and does a podcast.
And when's
the information is going to get out there?
And when's the last time Kelly McCrimmon met with the local media?
That's something that I don't keep an eye on. I mean,
I haven't seen him in a while, in a long time.
Well, maybe this is our time, Tony. Maybe I'll just fire an email to my contact and be like, hey, interview request. Let's go.
Okay, so yeah, you know what? Try to get it fired up. Okay, so some positive news came out of this, and something that we did not know. I know a few weeks ago, you were talking about, hey, when is VGK going to announce more sheets of ice being built, and also ball hockey, right? You were talking about that. But he said that currently they are looking at 3 places to build more sheets of ice. Currently, over 4,000 youth players here in the Valley, and they could have a purpose. So the other 2 venues were for professional purposes, business purposes, if you will. Of course, you have City National, the VGK practice facility, and then you have Lifeguard in Henderson, and that's for the Silver Knights. He said that the next one, who knows? It could be for junior hockey. It could be for an academy. It could be for UNLV hockey.
It's all great. I mean, you think about the growth and things like that. And we just heard about with the women's game, the USA Canada game that we had here a few months back, about the growth specifically in girls youth hockey. And it was an exponential, huge number since the VGK has come here. And just a walk down memory lane. I was thinking about this last night. Yesterday or the day before was the 8-year anniversary of me getting my thank you letter for placing a season ticket deposit on a faceless, nameless, and buildingless franchise. And then you think about what's happened in that time, the new ice that's come in this town, all the youth hockey that has been developed, the amazing success on the ice and on the business and from the business perspective of the Vegas Golden Knights. So as far as youth hockey and another rink, yeah, we need it. I mean, we need it badly. There is not enough ice time available in this town right now. The only time available right now is when the kids are in school, and it's still not even easy to get ice time. So now the weekends are absolutely slammed. And I haven't left hockey in a while. I've been real busy in my personal business, but the beer league games keep on getting later and later and later and later because the youth games and all the activities that take place on the ice and the learn to skate, the figure skating, everything that happens, there's just not enough ice to go around. And last I had heard, the chalk for whatever the next facility is going to be was going to be in the Henderson area, right by where the Raiders practice. That's what I had heard from multiple places, multiple sources, that it was a pretty much done deal. But obviously we're in the February, and November was supposed to be the groundbreaking. So there's certainly more going on. Whatever it is, I think it's got to be a 2, 3, or even 4 sheet facility that has a couple rinks for practice. If they want a small stadium setting for UNLV or some type of junior program, so be it. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, when the Arizona Coyotes move here, they could play in that facility too if UNLV plays there. Hey, they're going to be
bigger than that barn they play in the college.
Okay, so I have to ask you about something that came across yesterday via our direct messages. You're going to be on a podcast with all of our colleagues in the Pacific and the Honda Pacific. Is that right?
It seems like the top 4 want to get together and gang up on the bottom 4. No, there's going to be a conversation with Locked On Seattle, Kings, and Edmonton Oilers.
Edmonton, yeah.
So that'll be real interesting to kind of learn what VGK looks like through their eyes, and for me to explain what the Kings and the Oilers and the Kraken look like through our eyes. And it's always a good talk. Listen, as long as Locked On Sharks isn't involved, it's always a great conversation.
So quit picking on those poor folks there.
I'm not. I'm being honest.
So when
do I look like I'm smiling right now? Do I look like I'm joking?
Can you see me laughing? I'm laughing.
I haven't seen you the whole show, Tony.
I know. We've been. This is my blackout show. There we go. And then no. So set up the next segment here.
So yeah, it's Valentine's Day. So
and we're both wearing red. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I got a red flag right there. I got a red flag on my USO shirt.
You're a walking red flag.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. So very simple. We're gonna finish the quote. Roses are red, violets are blue, something VGK that rhymes with ooh.
Okay. That's coming up next. You don't want to miss it. When is that segment going to be recorded?
Tomorrow morning, we're going to do it sometime. I don't know, but it'll air tomorrow.
Okay. So in lieu of our show tomorrow, you're going to be doing that round.
Yeah, we can still record. Okay. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I think that's pretty cool, though. That's look out for that. That's coming your way, and we'll have probably 4 people. The cameras are working. Stay tuned. More next. We'll get into Chris's segment when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Our next partner has a product that we literally use every day. It's Athletic Greens. We utilize it because, number one, we don't have time, and it also gives us more energy. And I basically sleep much better and past 4 a.m. when I take it. And so now we've been using it for several months. Absolutely love it. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy. It has kind of a mild tropical taste that you will actually look forward to taking each and every morning. And personally consume it again because it also helps with digestion. And as I mentioned, gives you great energy each and every morning. And it's lifestyle friendly, and it works with any dietary constraints you might have. And make sure that you understand the importance of a multivitamin, because tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb, like AG1. Costs less than $3 a day, and you are investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. There's dozens and dozens of testimonials. Google it. And right now it's time to reclaim your health and to arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Once again, to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/NHL Network, athleticgreens.com/NHL Network, to take ownership over your health and to pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco behind the curtain today, along with Chris Golick. And make sure that you check out our YouTube channel. It is Locked On Golden Knights, and please subscribe and leave some really funny comments. Memes about me are going rampant every time I fire off something that the fans believe is negative about VGK. They definitely have a good time with me. And of course, we are on Twitter at Locked On VGK. And make sure you check out at TD Chris G some really good content from last night's gala. Okay, so it's your turn. This is your stage. It is Valentine's Day. Is the missus, she's in the next room, I'm going to whisper, did you take care of the missus for Valentine's Day? Is this a big day for her?
Valentine's Day is dumb. We don't do anything. It's a Hallmark holiday just designed to suck more money out of y'all. No, we're going to go, we're going to probably go actually on the strip and have a nice lunch together that we always split the bill for. Nice. That's been our Valentine's Day tradition for a long time. We don't buy each other anything. The kids made us some nice gifts. That was nice to see, but otherwise we kind of laugh at the holiday, go out and have a little fun, whatever.
Who do you tell them delivered these goodies? Cupid?
No, this one we're okay with acknowledging where they come from. Other holidays, we still, there's still the mythical characters involved.
Yeah, up until I was 32 years old, I still believed in Santa, so I like the mystique. Okay, go ahead, man.
It's a long time ago, isn't it? 232 for you, huh?
Oh, geez.
So, all right, it's Valentine's Day. It's very simple. We're doing roses are red, violets are blue. We're gonna finish a couple statements. I don't know if Tony's got anything prepped, but I got a few here. So we hit this on the last segments. Roses are red, violets are blue. What will Kelly McCrimmon do? That's a layup one right there. Yeah, we talked about that. There's a couple different paths, but here's a spicy one right here. Roses are red, violets are blue. Whoever scheduled the VGK to play on Super Bowl Sunday, here's a big F you.
Whoa. Coming out pretty strong there.
That was, I listened really fast.
I like that one. Nice.
I don't understand. I get the Gala was last night. Maybe that played into it. Maybe that's the reason. And if that's the reason, fine, so be it. There was obviously a lot of good things that happened. But as far as the business sense, there's 5,000 empty seats at T-Mobile Arena on a weekend hockey game. That's just not. And now you're going to tell us all, 2:30 to get home and hopefully catch the start of the game on time. It's just, I don't get all that. if I had to guess, VGK was not solely involved in that. It was probably one of those things the NHL said, hey, we have an opportunity to load up on games before Super Bowl for TV ratings, so be it. So I honestly don't think VGK was necessarily at fault for that one. Okay. All right, so here we go.
Some from some of our fans and friends, right?
Oh, I got a good one here. I actually, so first of all, Brandon came out first here. We'll start with him. Roses are red, violets are blue. You know he'll get Kane and overpay him too.
Oh, that's
I mean,
good.
You can't overpay for him too. Pardon me, for him.
Yeah. No, we understand. We got it. Can I do one?
Yeah, go.
Am I allowed? Roses are red, violets are blue. Bill Foley has favorites like Carlson and Marcia Sue.
That's funny. I like that. I like it. So Wausau Aaron, he's been getting spicy. I mean, I can't tell if he's a friend or a foe sometimes, but always a friend if he's leaving comments and stuff like that. But I think we've rubbed him and maybe some of the fans a little bit with some of our honesty at times about how we feel things are going. But this is a zinger of zingers right here, and he took a shot right at me here. Eichel's face is red. Leonard's finances are blue. No one wants to see Golick's white butts in a hot tub at Club Zook. Aaron, that was absolutely priceless. I love that.
Off the rails.
That was perfect.
I'll do one. Roses are red, violets are blue. George McPhee interviews, just not in the 702.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's my 4 a.m. zinger.
That's a good one. That's why you woke up so early. You were thinking about segment 3 here. All right, so roses are red.
That's my mic drop for the day.
I like it. Roses are red, violets are blue. Line 3. What's with this crew?
Who did that one? That's you?
That's me. Oh, yeah, that's all me. All me.
It's all right.
All me. This is me on the way home thinking about all these last night. This is what you get after a single old fashioned and after hanging out. A single. I did not drink anything more than that, just one early, and all right, so roses are red, violets are blue. With this injury to LT, how can the team push through?
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one.
We're having fun here, folks. We're having fun.
That's good. And McPhee was talking. He said, in most instances, found this out on the 4 a.m. podcast, most instances, teams are going to have where they equal out the first 2 lines. He said your strength has to be in lines 3 and 4. And that's what he's trying to do to differentiate everything. Interesting comment about Chandler Stevenson in that, he just saw Stevenson play not for a long stretch of time because he got fired shortly after Stevenson arrived there in D.C. He said there was one preseason game that he thought that he showed a lot of power and strength, and that's what sealed the deal, and that's what made him want to bring him to Las Vegas. I found that pretty interesting in just one game in a preseason game where perhaps a lot of players go through the motions. That's how he spotted Chandler Stevenson. That's how he stood out.
Oh, listen, these general managers, assistant general managers, they all probably have a history of being, they are scouts still. They're still scouts to this day, but they probably have a history of performing scout duties for a period of time. You see a George McPhee and Kelly McCrimmon, obviously at every VGK game. You see Kelly McCrimmon at the HSK games when the VGK is in town. He goes and scouts the Canadian tournaments and stuff like that. So these guys are out there digging up, they're mining for gold, so to speak. And obviously every one of these guys wants to find their guy, right? Their guy that they saw first, that no one else is really talking about. And that's the impression that Stevenson made, obviously, in this singular game. And that's what stood out. And McPhee was right. McPhee was absolutely right on that. So kudos to him. And without Chandler, who knows where this team would be in the last couple of seasons.
Okay, coming up tomorrow at some point, Chris will be a part of that roundtable with the top 4 teams in the Honda Pacific division. And who knows, maybe we'll do a podcast, maybe we won't, but
we probably still should, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, TBA. We thank you all for making us your first listen each and every day. You could find us wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. Great work, my man, Chris Golick, last night. That was a lot of fun, and we definitely enjoyed all of your videos. And check those out at Locked On VGK. Till tomorrow, Tony Cardasco with Chris Golick. We'll see you right here on Locked On Golden Knights.